Hi there, this is AJ with Car Inspected, and today we are in Toronto and we're looking at this 2014 Infiniti Q50. It's got 145,000 kilometers on it, white in color. Overall decent condition, no major issues. There's a couple of rock chips and things like that on the front, little curb here and there, nothing too bad. The one thing up front is this hood is out of alignment. So you can see as it sticks up here, and it does on the other side as well. Now I see no signs of accident or anything of that nature, but I believe for some reason maybe someone took the hood off at one point, put it back on and didn't align it or something like that, or somebody, again, I don't see damage or anything like that. Whether the hinge was bent or something, it doesn't look like it, but so it's weird because it doesn't look like anything's ever been done, but that hood is misaligned. So other than that, the rest of the car looks pretty decent. I did paint thickness verification throughout, and we have no real issues. All looks pretty good, except for the back. So this trunk, the deck lid, has been repainted. You can see some clear coat peeling here, and there is a definitive line which looks like it was blown in right about here, and you can see some body work that was done in this area and thicker repaint on the bottom, and the bumper looks like it was possibly repainted as well. So there might have been a little back bump or something like that, but most of it is this trunk lid. This bumper, if it was repainted, it was done well, so I can't see any real issues, but the bumper is where we see. There's also a little spot of rust starting right there. Also, a couple of windows are not matching in their companies, so they look like these ones are good, but this, I believe this one, this rear window, and nope, the rear windows, these windows here, this one, sorry. So yeah, they're not matching, so it must have been replaced at some point. Other than that, that's not a major deal. It looks like they're fine, they fit, they work, no real issues there. Other than that, fit and finish looks just fine. Wheels, tires, and brakes. Front tires are from 2017. They got about 5/30 seconds of tread. As you can see, nice and even, no real issues. And the front brakes, on these Nissans, it's hard to actually see the brakes without taking things apart because of these covers, those caliper covers, but rotors look pretty good, and pads, I'm assuming they're as good as the rotors, which I would say there's probably a good amount left on those front brakes. Now this side, I have the wheel turned right now, so I'm not gonna be able to show you, but it does have a, let me get my light, strut. It does look like it's leaking a little bit of wetness in there. Let me see if I can show you. So yeah, so you can see the bottom of that's a little wet, so there is a little leaking going on there. It might need a strut soon. Other than that, undercarriage looks pretty good under here. No real issues. Exhaust looks good, no rust, plastic's good, no problems, no leaks or anything like that. Underneath, everything looks pretty decent. Again, 2017 tire with about 5/30 seconds of tread with no real issues. All looks pretty decent. Same story with these front brakes. As you can see, there is some curb rash on this rim, so nothing's damaged. All looks pretty decent, but it is looking like that. Well, I'm sorry about that. I dropped you. Trying to turn my light on here. This strut looks good, no issues. And underneath here, all looks pretty good as well. Brake lines, fuel lines, etc., no real issues. All looks pretty decent. In the rear, this is an all-wheel drive model, and the axles and everything look good here. No leaky boots or anything of that nature. Exhaust looks good as well. And tires in the back are 2014s, I think. The other side, yeah, I think they're 2014s, but they look pretty decent. There's about 5 to 6, 30 seconds, 4 to 5, sorry, on these. Rear brakes, rotors look a little used up, and there was a bit of noise when we were moving it. They were a little squeaking, so those rear brakes probably need to be replaced. Around here, this final tire, so here is the date. Yeah, 2011, I'm sorry. 2011 is the date on these, but they still look pretty good with no real issues. All looks pretty good, about 5/30 seconds of tread on there. And again, rear brakes are gonna need to be replaced fairly soon. Owner said that as well, so he acknowledges that. And under here, all looks pretty good with no real issues. We're going to pop the hood. While we're here, nope, we're going to go inside first, because we got to pop the hood from inside. So it does work, right? No issues there. However, when you lift it, you can tell it's a little awkward, a little stiff. It doesn't quite. So I think these hinges are got a little damage or something at some point. Though I see no signs of damage. It's very strange. Other than that, underneath all looks pretty decent with no real issues. I don't see any major leaks or anything. Belts, hoses, etc. all look pretty good with no real issues. The only thing that I saw is if you open up, not gonna be able to see it in the video. I tightened it too much. You're not gonna see it in the video anyway, but you'll see in the photos, the metal inside the engine components, they are a little stained from oil. So that tells me that oil changes probably weren't done overly regularly. Might have been lapsing on some. So that's just a maintenance kind of thing. Might be not overly diligent on the maintenance. Other than that, I see no real issues. There's some seepage here and there that you can see. I wouldn't call it a leak. It's just typical used car seepage kind of thing. Other than that, everything looks pretty decent. We tested your battery. All this is oil spray for winterization. Batteries under here, we got a little over 12 and charging at 14.6, so no issues. Your coolant also looks pretty good. It was a little low, so that should probably be topped up a little bit. But it did test well, negative 43. Your oil also got a green light, so no contamination or major issues. And it didn't look too bad or anything like that, too dirty. Brake fluid under here was also at 0%, so that is good to go with no issues there. So under the hood, other than potential past maintenance not being done on time, other than that, it looks pretty decent. Car seemed to run well also, with no real issues. We did a OBD scan, and we have no issues there, no codes or anything of that nature. A couple of past codes, but they're gone with no issues. Trunk looks good. As you can see, there are the summer mats here with no issues, and spare tire, lug nuts, and lock, and all the emergency roadside stuff with no real issues there. You can see how heavy that is. That's because there's probably a good amount of Bondo in there. It doesn't quite stay up like it should. And here we have interior. Turn the light back on. So door panels all look pretty decent. A little dirt, but nothing major. No major wear and tear. Seats look good, as you can see, with no real problems. Everything works. Everything looks decent. Floors look good as well. It's got winter mats. And everything looks pretty decent with no real issues. Again, seats, headliner, all looks pretty good. I don't see any real problems. Power seats, etc. all work. Little bit of dirt here and there, but nothing bad, no rust or anything like that. Wood grain looks nice. Power seats work fine, no issues. Floors, again, carpets look nice and clean under here with no issues. A couple of marks on the dashboard, but they'll probably clean up. Owner's manual's in there. All looks pretty decent in here. Again, I think with the detailing, this interior will present pretty close to new. Got no real issues. All looks pretty nice in here. Again, this side of the seat looks good. No real issues. Carpets look good under there. The only thing is on this door, there is a little poke mark that you can see right there. Other than that though, all this stuff looks pretty decent with no real issues. Minimal wear on these bolsters. Power seats all look good. Again, floors, winter mats, but everything underneath looks nice. It does traction control, parking assist, cameras, all that stuff seem to operate and look well with no real issues. Everything starts up, looks good. Screens turn on. As you can see, AC, heat, All that stuff seems to work as well. Heated seats, radio, navigation, all those things seem to be working as they should. Everything looks pretty decent. And I said all windows and everything work with no real problems. So there you have it. Now the registration is invalid. Sticker's invalid on this, the owner said, so I'm not going to take it on test drive. I'm going to kind of drive around the parking lot here real quick, but make sure everything seems decent. But like I said, since it's invalid, I don't want to be getting tickets or doing anything illegal. So we're gonna leave it at that. So, as usual, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.